Hey guys, so this video is going to be another Python challenge. So the challenge is you have all of these numbers inside of a text document, and there's gonna be the rules in the description. But so the whole purpose is to just get better with files, opening files, and interacting with files in Python. So the first thing that we have to do is read all numbers from the file and display them to the screen, right? So we're going to go ahead and make that first, right? And we're going to do that with open. We want to go ahead and open random.txt, and we want to open it as file. And then we want to do for I in file. We just want to go ahead and print I. And that's it, right? So we'll save, we'll run that. It prints every single one. So that's fine. Um, the reason that it's printing spaces is because by default print does a new line. So that's why it's doing the extra spacing. Okay, so then we'll go back to the rules and we'll see that we need to count the amount of numbers stored in the file and display them to the screen. So we'll go ahead and make a global count variable and we'll set that equal to 0. And then below that we'll go ahead and make a function called define amount, which is just going to be the amount that we have. And so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and pick global count plus equal 1. So every time we call it in this function, for every element that is in the file, we're just going to go ahead and call amount, right? And then it's going to change our global variable of count. So we're going to call that, and to see that, after it's done looping through, we'll go ahead and just print out count. So we'll save, we'll run that. We can see that we get 77, which if we go here and we go all the way down, we can see there's 77 right here, right? So that is correct. And then we'll go to the other rules and we'll see that we need to calculate the sum of all numbers in the file and display them to the screen. So we're going to make another global and it's just going to be called num sum. We're going to set that equal to 0. And below this, we're going to just go ahead and define sum. It's going to take in a number. And then what we're going to do is just do global num sum plus equal num. Okay, so after that, we'll go ahead and just call it here. So we'll just do for every instance, we're calling I, right? So after that, we'll just go ahead and print sum, and I'm actually just gonna cut that out and paste that here just so it looks nicer. So we'll save, we'll run that. And the other thing that we need to do is change that to an int, because as by default everything inside of this file is a string, not a number. So we have to convert it, do a type convert. So okay, we so far have task 1, 2, and 3 done. Now we have to do number 4, which is calculate the average of all the numbers, right? So we're gonna go ahead and just call it average. And what we're going to do is return round, so we get the base number when we do this, and we're just going to say numsum divided by count. And the reason that we're doing this is because to get the average, you take the sum. If let's say the sum is 6 and there's 3 numbers, 6 divided by 3 is 2, average is 2, right? So that's why we're doing it, because our other functions were able to give us what we needed. So we're gonna go ahead and call average, and because we don't have a variable, what we can actually do is just print average, right? So we'll save, we'll run that, and because I did that, it's because I forgot the parentheses, it's not gonna print it out. But so we get 99, and you know, if you have a calculator or whatever, you can type in the 7594 divided by 77, it gives you 98.6. Because of round, it's going to round up to 99. So if you want to round down, you'll have to use the floor method. So the next thing that we have to do is write it to a text document. That is going to be results, right? So we'll go ahead and make a function for that. So we'll go ahead and say write file, and then we're going to say file our file, our W file, is going to be equal to open, and then we're going to say results dot we're going to say txt, comma, right. And so what this does, if you watch the previous one, this opens it. The only difference between this and with open is with open, it closes it automatically. In this one though, it's not going to do that. So you have to close it, right? So we're going to say w file dot write, and then what do we want to write? Well, we'll go ahead and do something like the we'll do something like there are numbers, and we'll go ahead and do format, and then we'll go ahead and put an amount, and then we'll go ahead and do dot write again, and then we'll go ahead and put the sum of all numbers is. We'll go ahead and do the format method again. We'll just go ahead and put in numsum, right? And for the amount, don't want to pass in the function, my mistake. You want to pass in count since it's going to run it, right? So with that, then you want to do wfile.write again, because we want to write the average. So for that, since it's a function and we're returning it, and our variables will be changed at that time, we can just go ahead and say the average is, go ahead and do our dot format, right? So dot format average. Make sure you put your parentheses, and then we need to do w.file close. As I mentioned, when you use it like this, it creates a file stream that stays open until you specifically tell it to close. So with that done, we're gonna actually put one more thing, which is just going to be a print statement, and it's just going to say the results have been added to results.txt, right? So after that, what we'll do is we'll just call write file, call it, save, run that. We can see that we get 15, which is going to be the last one here, right? And then we have our count of how many there are, our sum, our average, and then it says that it writes it, right? So we'll go ahead and look at results, and we can see that there are 77 numbers. The sum of all numbers is this, and the average is 99. So that is true. All of the information was written in there. The only problem is, of course, because we didn't add new lines, it doesn't look as good, right? So to make it look better, you can just add a new line before the parentheses, or before the quotation mark, the single quotation marks. If we save, you run it again, we get the same results, right? But if we go to results, we can see that it's changed and it looks better. So again, could be a little confusing for this, so we can actually do something to make our print statements look better. So we can just pick count, right? And then dot format. Save, run that, and this is just to make it look nicer, right? So we can tell that the count is 77. Sum is why? Oh, that is why. Need to, don't forget your curly braces. Okay, so we can see that that's fixed and it looks nicer. If you want to change the print for the eye, then you have to remove the new line, because you may not see it, but it's there. In this file, there's going to be a new line. Every time you press enter, it creates a new line. So for example, if you were to type, like let's say I typed 135, press enter to get down to this line to type it, it creates a new line. And so that new line is going to show inside here. You can do a dot strip method, right? So and then so it asks what we want to strip, right? Automatically by default it does new line. So because of that, as you can see, our results don't have that new line anymore. So again, that's just a preference, but something that definitely should be known is if that does happen, you can use this dot strip method. And that is it for this tutorial. I hope you guys are enjoying this series and going to enjoy this series. I have many more of these challenges to give you. Hopefully they help you improve your Python programming skills, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know in the comments what I can do better, stuff like that. If you did like it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time.